Hello, piano students. This is Dr. Mario Ajero, professor of piano at Stephen F. Austin State University. And in this video, I want to show you how to play the D-flat major and G-flat major scales and arpeggios at the piano. Let me start off with a demonstration of me playing through both keys, both the scales and the arpeggios. And then I'll go into a little bit more in-depth discussion on how to practice it successfully. Starting off with the D-flat major scale. And its arpeggio. G-flat major scale. And its arpeggio. Now, the reason why we teach these two, what we call group 2 keys in tandem with one another, is I hope you guys noticed that they're using all the black keys. D-flat major has 5 flats in it, so that means that all the black keys are represented. So it's actually easier to just, instead of trying to memorize the flats that are in it, is just to remember that there are 2 white keys, and that being F and C, and have those always on your radar when you're playing through it here. So for D-flat major, whenever you play 2 black keys, our goal is to avoid using our thumbs on the black keys whenever possible here. So what we do, the fingering principles for both of these keys are that whenever you have a pair of 2 black keys, use 2s and 3s. Whenever you have 3 black keys, use either 2, 3, 4 in the right hand or 4, 3, 2 in the left hand. And then whenever you have those white keys, the Fs and the Cs, that's when the thumb should come into play. That way it fits the natural contour of the hand as you play through it. And one way that you could kind of train your hands to be able to do this, and it's good to do this hands together rather than spending extra time practicing it hands separately, is to practice them in clusters, like playing the 2 black keys at the same time, the thumbs together, the 3 black keys at the same time, thumbs, 2 black keys, thumbs, 3 black keys, thumbs, and then just the single black key by itself. And same thing on the way down. Alright. So I would practice that a whole bunch of times until you feel comfortable and do the crossovers really smoothly and naturally as you possibly can. And that way, after you've done that, then it's really simple to just break it up into the individual notes like this. G-flat major is the exact same thing, except instead of 5 flats in the key signature, you have 6 flats. So in addition to the 5 black keys that you're playing, you'll also have 1 flat that's a white key, and that happens to be the C flat, which is the same thing as regular B. So your 2 white keys, if you spell out the G-flat major scale, are the C flat and the F still. Okay, so just keep those 2 white keys on your radar, but still practice it in those clusters. But instead of starting with the 2 black keys, start with the 3 black keys, so then it goes like this. Thumbs on C flat, thumbs on F, thumbs on C flat, thumbs on F, and then at the top you just have the G flat all by itself, and then do the same thing on the way down. Just practice that a whole bunch of times. Until you can do it without even thinking about it like so. That way when you break it up, then it just goes like that. All right. For the arpeggios, let's start off with the G-flat major arpeggio. The G-flat major arpeggio consists of the root, 3rd, 5th of the chord, and in this case it's G-flat, B-flat, and D-flat. So since we're using all black keys, we're going to use the exact same fingering that you use for the C major arpeggio, which is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 5. Except we're going to be doing them on all black keys as we go through it here, okay? So when I play the G flat major arpeggio in the right hand, try to have your hand already open so that you already have the first 3 notes there. And then you don't even have to search for them, and then you can just replicate it in the second octave like so. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 5, and then backwards. 5, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. The left hand is the exact same thing, but just backwards here. You'll start with 5, but then you'll use the 3 and the 2 on the B flat and D flat, and then your thumb will land on the G flat in the middle octave again like so. 5, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, and then backwards it goes 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 5. When putting it hands together, just make sure that when you're practicing it, that you keep your fingers, your longer fingers, a little bit more curved. That way you don't have to ride so deep into the keys, and that way it looks like so. For the black keys, since you're playing on all black keys, you know, the thumb cross will be a little bit tricky as you go through this arpeggio. So work on that in particular, getting that, and make sure that you're using the full range of the motion of your thumb as you play through that. For the D flat major arpeggio, the 3 notes are D flat, F, and A flat. And it'd be a good idea to, well, as I mentioned before, this one is one of those Oreo cookie arpeggios that has black key, chocolate cookie, white creamy filling, and then chocolate cookie. And the goal is to always have the thumbs on the white creamy filling in the middle. Right? So that's why in the right hand, we recommend starting with the 4th finger, because you don't want to use the pinky in the middle. You always want to get your thumb on the white key, and that prompts you to do so right away from the get-go. And play that with the thumb, 2nd finger, 4th finger as you see in the chart. 1, 2, 4, and then backwards it goes 4, 2, 1, 4, 2, 1, 4. The left hand is the exact same thing, except instead of starting with 4, you're going to start with 2. All right? And that way you go to the thumb right away. But just make sure you cross over with a 4, 2, 1, 4, 2, and then backwards there goes 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2. What's easy about lining them up hands together is that the thumbs always play on the Fs in the middle, so always have that on your radar. And then whenever one hand plays the 4th finger, like I'm doing in the right hand, the other hand plays the 2nd finger, and vice versa when you get to the A flats. When the right hand's playing the 2nd finger, the left hand plays the 4th finger, so then when you put it together, it should sound and look like this. That's how you do the scales and arpeggios. My only other suggestion here that I want to leave you with here is when you're practicing the scales, make sure you don't flatten out your fingers there so that you use bad technique. Try to keep your fingers nice and curved. In fact, one way that you can try to promote a good hand shape to it is to play towards the edge of the black keys as your striking points whenever you're practicing both the scales and the arpeggios. And that way that takes away the differentiation between the longer fingers and the shorter fingers as you practice through it, and hopefully you'll have less frustrations and it won't feel as awkward when you're playing through it. Okay? If you have any questions or if you have any troubles, don't hesitate to reach out to me. My email address is right here up on the screen, and look forward to seeing your progress with these scales and arpeggios. Take care. Bye.